welcome to this stretch and release class. You just need a strap for this class, unless you know that you are more comfortable having bolsters or something under your head. It's always nice to kind of have a couple of cushions or something around just in case you need them. And we're going to get started on our hands and knees. So we're going to start with that cat-cow. So have your fingers spread wide, thumbs are pointing towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. And then we're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, rounding your back, so tucking your bottom under and rolling through your spine, letting your head move last of all. Just pausing for a breath in, and as you exhale, let's roll the other way, sticking your bottom out. Rolling through your spine, thinking about bringing your chest through your arms, and again, head is the last thing to move. Breath in, and roll the other way. So we're just going to roll between those two positions with the flow of your breath. And just notice what's happening with your hands. Notice whether your fingers are starting to claw and come away, whether your elbow pits are trying to roll in to look towards each other, and see if you can keep that really nice alignment here. Let's just do a couple more of those. And then as you come in through centre this time, hold it, and we're going to take it into that little tail wag. So we're going to shift our hips to one side and then have a little look, see if you can see your tail. Shift your hips to the other side, and we're just going to go from side to side here. So it's a little bit of a side bend. Getting as much movement here as you can. Good job. And then we're going to go back into child's pose now. So taking your bottom back towards your heels, reaching your arms forwards, and let's take a big stretch here. Walking those fingertips as far away from you as you possibly can, so you're getting that really nice stretch through your shoulders and your upper back. Let's take a few breaths. From here, we're going to come back up onto all fours. So coming onto your hands and knees again. And we're going to take it into our thread the needle from here. One hand, palm faces up, thread behind your opposite wrist. Twisting your upper body around, bringing your ear and your shoulder to the floor if they will reach. And that free hand that's supporting, reaching it forwards to the front edge of your mat if that feels good to you. So we've got a real nice twist through your shoulders and your upper back. And again, let's hold here and just take a few breaths. We're going to slide that supporting hand back in, and we're going to open out. So we're going to twist that upper body around, keep twisting, taking that arm up towards the sky now, looking up towards your hand, pause for a breath. And then we're going to bring that hand down. It's going to pass just in front of your knee this time, just changing that twist slightly, reaching that arm down. And again, that supporting arm can reach forwards if that feels good to you. Changing that twist. And let's again hold for some deep breaths here. We're going to open out to the sky again, slide that supporting hand in, and let's open out, twisting again, reaching up towards the sky, pause just for a breath. Bringing that hand back down, it's going to go just behind your wrist again, but kind of diagonally up and forwards this time. So instead of going straight through, if you're on a clock face, you're either at 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And then reaching that arm again forwards. Hold here. Last time to open out on this side, slide the hand back in, and then let's open out and reach up towards the sky. And then when you're ready, let's place that hand back down and do the same on the other side. Hand turns palm up as we twist our upper body around, bringing your ear and your shoulder down towards the floor. And again, if you want to add that other arm reaching away. Taking some deep breaths here, really reaching with both arms as far away as you can. When you're ready, let's open out, twisting, reaching for the sky. Just noticing if it feels different on this side, just pause for a breath. And then taking that hand down, it's going to pass just in front of your knee as you twist around. Again, reaching with that other arm. When you're ready, let's open out again. Reach. And then taking that hand down again, it's going to go just behind your wrist, but diagonally forwards and up. And then when you're ready, we're going to open out that last time on this side, reaching that arm up. And then placing that hand down, taking your bottom back towards your heels again, back into child's pose. And then looking towards your hands, making sure there's enough space for your hands for us to travel forwards and to find that baby cobra position. On an inhale, come up and forwards. Travelling through, allowing your hips to come towards the floor, lifting your chest and your head. And then exhale to go back the other way. And we're just going to go at your own pace, moving with the flow of your breath. Remembering that we want to keep our shoulders nice and stable, so we're not collapsing in those shoulders. We're trying to keep the shoulder blades wide. We're not just dropping our hips there. Abdominals are supporting us here as we come forwards. But finding your flow. We're going to do one more time like this. And as you go back into your child's pose this time, let's stay there again. 3 deep breaths. And then we're going to come all the way forwards and down onto our front. So come on down onto your front when you're ready. And we're going to have our hands in that stop position. Okay, so elbows are kind of out at the sides, palms are facing down. We're going to do some back extension here. Let's take a moment to anchor our pubic bones, slight tuck of the tailbone to give you that length through your lower back. Your legs can be together or hip width. Draw your armpits down towards your waist, and on an in-breath, let's press the hands into the floor and lift the head away from the floor. And then exhale as we lower back down. Again, going at your own pace, inhaling to lift. And exhaling to lower. Just go as far as feels okay for you. Remembering to draw those ribs into your body. We don't want to be thrusting the ribs forwards and creating that shear of your lower back. So if it's bothering your lower back, really check in with those ribs. Let's do 2 more here. And as you come up on this last one, we're going to hold it up. So come up to a position that feels fairly comfortable, because we're going to stay here. And we're going to turn our head as far as we can to one side. Bring that head in through centre and turn it as far as you can to the other side. Again, in through centre, turn one way and the other. We're going to do one more time to each side. Turn and turn. And as you come in through centre, lowering your body all the way down. Really nice. Push yourself up and back again, finding that child's pose, just allowing your lower back to have a little stretch here. And we're going to go over onto our back next. So when you're ready, make your way over onto your back. And we're going to lie down with our knees bent and our feet flat. Taking a moment for your spine to settle here. Let's roll the chest and shoulders open, maybe taking the arms out to a T. And then bring your feet and knees together. Let's do a little spine twist here. Allowing both knees to roll gently to one side and maybe let your head go the opposite way. When you're ready, knees come in through centre and over to the other side. So just go as far as feels okay for you. Try and keep your shoulder blades anchored on the floor, so it's not your whole body that's rolling, it's a twist at your waist. Good, and then as you come in through centre this time, just picking up those knees, give your knees a little hug, and let's just rock gently from side to side here. So just staying with the upper body a little bit longer, we're going to go onto our side for the crocodile next. So rolling onto your side, knees are bent, arms out in front. Remember, if you want to bolster your head, you can absolutely do that. And then we're going to reach that top arm forward first, so reach it forward first and then take it up towards the sky. Starting to twist your upper body away, your knees stay anchored on the floor, and open out just to find your maximum position. Don't go so far that you can't breathe, making sure you can still speak here. And we're going to hold for a couple of breaths. When you're ready, start to slowly bring that arm back up and over. Still reaching with that arm, imagine that you can touch the ceiling with your fingertips as you come all the way over. Go again, when you're ready, reach the arm forward first and then take it up. Keep reaching that arm as you take it back behind you, twisting again. Keeping your knees anchored on the floor. And hold for a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready, start to slowly bring your arm back up and over. We're going to do one more time on this side. So when you're ready, just go again. Holding again, but maybe noticing whether it feels easier this time, whether you feel like you're a little closer to the floor with that arm maybe. Just notice any differences. And then when you're ready, let's start to bring that arm back up and over. Just rolling yourself onto your back. Let's do a little reset for a moment before we do the other side. Just bring your knees in and just roll out your lower back. Just in case it was a little bit tight, a little bit tense. Just give it a little roll out before we do the other side. And then when you're ready, rolling onto your other side. Same thing, knees bent, arms out in front. Reaching that top arm forwards first and then taking it up and over. Again, just finding your maximum position, but not forcing anything, holding there. And then when you're ready, up and over again. Closing that crocodile mouth. And again, when you're ready, reaching up, stretch, and open out. Closing that crocodile when you're ready. We're going to do one more time on this side. Reach again, open out. Just pausing for those couple of breaths, and again just taking that time to notice whether it was easier on this last one and whether you were any closer to the floor than the first time. And then close that crocodile when you're ready. And then again, you're just going to roll onto your back, bringing your knees into your chest and just roll out your lower back again here. Just going to turn around. Okay, so we're going to stay with the back a little bit now. So bringing your feet back down to the floor, feet and knees are hip width apart. And we're just going to go into that gentle pelvic tilt. So take a breath, and as you exhale, tilt your pelvis towards you. And as you inhale, just rolling it back into that centre position. Moving with the flow of your breath, just gently tilting your pelvis forwards and backwards. Again, releasing any tension around that lower back, but mobilising all of the muscles that support our pelvis. Good. From here, we're going
going to take it into our spine curl. So as you tilt your pelvis towards you this time, keep tilting, keep tucking that tailbone as you roll your spine away from the floor, lifting your hips to the sky. Pausing at the top for a breath and then exhaling as you slowly roll down. So let's do a few of these now, rolling up and down your spine. Remembering to keep the weight through your heels so that your glutes and hamstrings are doing all of this nice work here. And we're trying to get as much movement through our spine as we can. So noticing particularly as you roll down how easily that spine kind of molds down to the floor, or whether it's staying really rigid today. Just notice. Seeing if you can find a little more softness. Use your breath. The next time you roll up, let's stay up at the top. So when you roll up this time, stay there. And then see if you can drop your ribs slightly. So can you drop your ribs any more, but then lift your hips a little higher? See if you can do any more there. Can you drop your ribs at all and lift your hips higher? Is there anything left at all? Can you drop those ribs and lift those hips? Hold here for a couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, let's roll our spine all the way back down into the floor. Picking up your knees again, give your knees a little hug, and let's just rock gently side to side. From here we're going to find our cobbler position, so let your feet come down to the floor, soles of the feet together, let your knees roll out to the sides, and just allow your pelvis to settle here. And then we're going to float our arms up towards the sky, interlacing your fingers and flip your palms over, pressing those palms up. Keeping the ribs relaxed and down, start to slowly take your arms overhead towards the floor and keep pressing into those hands. Let's take some deep breaths here. When you're ready, start to slowly bring those hands back up. Bring your fingers apart, give your fingers a good stretch, spreading those fingers wide and give them a wriggle. Circling at your wrist. And reverse, let's go the other way. And then gently pulling each finger in turn back to stretch out your fingers. And once you've stretched all of your fingers, give them a little wriggle again. And allow your hands to just gently come back down to the floor. So we're going to find our little reclined tree pose here. So we're going to keep one leg bent in this cobbler position, and we're just going to straighten the other leg out. And then we're going to bring the legs close together so that the sole of your foot is resting against the inside of that straight leg. And again, just pause here for a moment, allowing your body to settle. And if you need to, you can always pop something under that knee to bolster that knee if it feels like it's kind of just not in a happy position for you. But we're going to bring the backs of the hands down to the floor, and we're going to do our little floor angels here. So when you're ready, slowly sliding the hands out along the floor and up towards your head. And then slowly slide back down. Remember, as we slide the arms up closer towards the head, it creates some tension through the shoulders, and if your shoulders are tight, your ribs will want to lift, so try and keep those ribs down. Good. One more time here. And as your arms come down towards your hips, just pause there. Now we're going to take those arms and we're going to take the arms overhead. So reach your arms as far away from your long leg as you can, so you're really lengthening and stretching. And then we're going to take it into a little side bend here. So the leg that's out straight, that's the side we're going to side bend to. So taking it into a little side bend here, so you can walk your arms and your upper body to the side. Try to keep your ribs down. It's very tempting to kind of twist and roll here, but we're going to hold here and just take some deep breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to kind of walk ourselves back in to a centre position, releasing those arms down. And then we're going to bring those knees in towards us. So bring that cobbler knee into the centre and then bring both knees into your chest. Let's just have a little roll here. And then we're going to find that little tree position on the other side. So when you're ready, releasing those legs. So this time we've got the other leg out straight and we've got our opposite leg in that little cobbler or that little tree position, allowing the sole of your foot to come and rest against the inside of your leg. Again, just taking a moment for your pelvis to settle here. Remember, you can bolster if you need to. And this time, instead of our arm angels, we're going to do our arm overs. So we're going to float our arms up towards the sky and then take those arms overhead towards the floor behind you. And then gently bring the arms back up and over and all the way down towards your hips. Still working here on keeping the ribs from moving with the arms. We want the arms to just move by themselves. Going at your own pace. Really nice. Good. And then this time, we're going to again do that side bend. So we'll take the arms up and overhead again. Pausing there for a moment. And then again, we're going to take it into that side bend to the straight leg side. So take your arms and upper body into that side bend position and hold there for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, walk yourself back in through centre, releasing the arms, and give your knees a little hug and just rock gently side to side. So we're going to keep hold of one knee now, and we're going to straighten the other leg up towards the sky. And we're going to super slowly lower that leg down towards the floor. Nice and slow, and let it go all the way down to rest onto the floor. And then we're going to lengthen that leg out long, push out through your heel, pull the front of the foot towards you, making that leg as long as you can. And then we're going to draw this knee in towards our chest as much as we can. Take it into our number 4 stretch now. So that leg that's out long, we're going to slide that foot along the floor to bring that knee up towards the sky. And we're going to cross the leg that we're holding on to, cross that ankle over that supporting knee now. We're going to hold here for a number 4 stretch. Encouraging this knee that's come across to really open out towards the side. So if it's really stiff and that knee's pointing towards your nose, you can use your hand to gently guide that knee out to the side. I'm going to hold here for a few breaths. You might choose to stay here with the foot anchored into the floor, or you can float that leg up and hold behind that knee. If you brought that leg up, let the lower leg kind of drop down rather than holding it at tabletop. Just let it be relaxed. And then drawing those knees in towards you, deepening that number 4 stretch. And if you feel like you can take it even deeper, rather than holding behind that knee, see if you can reach in front and hold just below that knee and pull it in a little deeper. But remember, it's got to feel right for you. We don't force it. So if that just feels like that's a little bit too much, stay with the hands behind the knee. And then we're going to gently allow that supporting leg to come back down to the floor, staying in that number 4 position. We're going to roll to bring the sole of the foot down towards the floor. And that knee in that number 4 leg, it's going to want to drop towards you if your legs are really tight. We're going to keep that knee pointing up to the sky. And then rolling your upper body back out into that T position. Can you try and get your shoulder blades to anchor here? If it feels too much for your legs, remember you can just go into your spine twist. You don't have to hold this if it just doesn't feel nice to you. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our back. So you can use your elbows, you can bend your elbows and press your elbows into the floor to help bring you back in through centre. And then we're going to release that leg. Okay, the leg we've just been using for our number 4 stretch, we're going to straighten that leg out and bring your other knee in towards your chest now. The leg you've got out long, we're going to push out through your heel, pulling the front of the foot towards you, lengthening that leg long and really bringing this knee in towards your chest. Let's do 5 deep breaths here. When you're ready, sliding that long leg back in so that we can do our number 4 stretch on this side now. Crossing your ankle over that knee, opening out to the side. Remember, you can use your hand to guide that knee out to the side if you feel it needs a little bit of encouragement. And then either choosing to keep that foot down on the floor or floating that leg up so that you can hold again behind your knee or in front of your knee if you want to take it even deeper. Just finding the position that feels right for you today. And then when you're ready, allow that leg to come back down to the floor. And again, let's roll to the side, bringing the sole of the foot down to the floor, not letting that knee drop down, knee still points up. And then rolling your upper body back out to find that T position. We're going to roll onto our back again, so you can bend your elbows if you want to give you that little bit of support, and then releasing that leg. We're going to go onto our strap stretch next, so find your strap, and then we're going to pop it around one foot. And then lengthen your other leg out long. We're going to push out through both heels, pulling the front of the foot towards us on both legs, and we're going to hold here. And while we're holding here, we can take this time to scan through our body and see if we're gripping and holding tension anywhere. So always check in eyebrows, muscles of your face, your jaw, your neck. Just do that scan all the way down and see if there's anything that you're gripping that you don't need to be gripping. Really It's only the arms that need to do the work that are holding onto the strap. Everything else can be fairly relaxed here. And then this leg that's in the strap, we're going to roll the leg in, so it's that internal rotation so that your toes are kind of pointing in towards the midline of your body. And then we're going to bring the leg across your body, so don't go wild, don't go too far, because now that we've kind of turned that leg in a little bit, it will feel different. Can you hold it there for a few breaths? And then bringing that leg back in through centre, slightly turn it out and take it out to the side. Let's hold it here. Bringing that leg back in through centre now. We're going to do our happy baby here. So that free leg that's out long, you might want to bend that one back in just to make it a little bit more spacious for you, so it's not as much of a strain. Pulling that leg down towards you that's in the strap, trying to get your shin as vertical as you can, sole of your foot pointing up to the sky. And then you can hold that strap, or if you can reach, you can hold on to your foot and then hold here. Remember, if that knee feels like it's crushing your chest and you can't breathe, you can take the leg slightly out to the side, but take the whole leg, don't just take the knee out to the side. Once you're in that position, see if you can take some deep breaths, see if you can be as relaxed as possible here. Maybe giving the back of the leg that you're holding onto a little bit of attention. You can give it a little rub, give it a little squeeze and release, just having a little look at that hamstring there that tends to get quite tight, so giving it a little bit of attention is a nice thing to do. Depending on how flexible you feel today, you can keep that other leg bent, or you can straighten that leg out and see how that feels. If it feels too much and you feel like you can't breathe, just bend that leg back in. Breathing's kind of important. We want to make sure that we're breathing at all times. It's kind of my only rule, is to still breathe. Alright. And then when you're ready, straighten that leg back out long. And then we're going to switch and pop the other leg into the strap. So again, free leg's going to lengthen out long. We're going to push out through both heels and pull the front of the foot towards you on both sides. Do your little scan again, checking your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. And then we're going to find that internal rotation again, so rolling that leg in so that your toes are kind of pointing into the centre of your body, and then can you bring that leg slightly across, and it might not go very far. And if it feels really terrible, just go back into a neutral position and bring that across. I kind of start in that rolled in position, start to come across, and then my leg kind of just goes back into neutral. So I have to work really hard to try and find that little bit of internal rotation. And even so, I'm pretty sure I'm cheating by hiking up my hip, but you know, you can only work with what you've got right now. Alright, bringing that leg back in through centre, let's slightly turn it out and take it out to the side. It's usually a happier position in that external rotation. and then bringing that leg back in through centre. So again, we're going to do our happy baby on this side, so maybe bending the free leg to begin with, and then pulling the leg in the strap down towards you. Again, we're trying to get shin vertical, sole of the foot pointing up-ish, and then either holding your strap or holding your foot, whichever you can reach. Again, if you need to, taking the knee out to the side a little bit more, and then giving the back of that leg a little bit of attention again. Maybe a little squeeze and release, a little rub, whatever just kind of feels nice. And if you had your tennis balls or your spiky balls handy, you could always use those just to give that hamstring a bit of attention. But just a little squeeze and release is nice. And again, you might choose to keep that free leg bent, or you might try straightening it out to see how it feels. When you've done that, if you've tried to straighten that leg out, check your jaw again, check your shoulders again, just see whether that has made you grip anywhere. Good. Alright, when you're ready, straighten that leg out long, get rid of your strap, and then just lengthen both legs out long and reach your arms overhead, stretching from your fingertips to your toes. Make yourself as long as you can. And then just circling your arms out to the sides and just bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Just have a little roll side to side. And we're going to roll over onto our front legs. So we're going to do a little bit of a release for our quads legs. So coming onto your front. And then we're going to bend one knee and reach your hand back. See if you can grab your ankle. And if you're feeling super tight through the quads, remember you can always use your strap if you need to. So taking some breaths here, letting your body settle, seeing if we can allow our pelvis to sink down deeply into the floor. If you're really tight through the front of your hips, you'll tend to lift your bottom away from the floor and have a big space under this hip. So I'm trying to relax it down. And then noticing if we've had to take that knee out to the side to get here, try to bring that knee kind of in as close to the other knee as we can. And then let's lengthen that leg out long and do the same on the other side. So bending the knee in, reaching back to grab your ankle, letting your pelvis settle. And then again, just noticing whether that pelvis is anchored firmly to the floor or whether there's a big space under your hip. See if you can relax it down. Has that knee had to go out wide to the side to get here? Again, we're trying to walk the knees so they're as close to each other as possible. And then when you're ready, lengthen that leg out long. Taking it to our inner thigh stretch now. So we're going to bend one knee and slide it out to the side. And again here, notice if your pelvis is tipped or tilted to the side to bring that knee out. That's what it tends to do. So we want to see if we can allow our pelvis to find its way back down towards the floor. So we're wanting both hip bones to be pointing at the floor, even if they're not connected to the floor. Eventually we want to try and have the pelvis completely on the floor and that knee out to the side. And that's real good for the mobility of our hips. And then we're going to straighten that bent leg out. So straightening that leg out now. and then we're going to bend that knee and bring that leg all the way back in. Just rock your hips gently from side to side, just releasing off your lower back before we do the other side. If you feel like you need a stretch, you can always push yourself up and back into child's pose to have a little stretch before you do the other side. But then when you're ready, you're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to bend your knee and slide it out along the floor. And notice if it feels different on this side to the other side. Again, we're looking to try and anchor those hip bones down to the floor, or at least have them both pointing at the floor if you can. And then when you're ready, straightening out that bent leg. Good job. And then when you're ready, bending that knee back in, sliding that leg all the way back in, and let's push ourselves up and back into that child's pose. Giving your lower back a little bit of a stretch now and allowing those hips to fully close. So we've gone from really opening the hips out to the side into that real deep hip bend position. And then we're going to go back into that child's pose to baby cobra again. So checking there's enough space between your hands. And on your next in-breath, you're going to come up and travel forwards again, lowering your hips towards the floor, lifting your chest and your head towards the sky, and then go back the other way. Let's do a few of these, just moving with the flow of your breath, forwards and backwards, remembering that the shoulders aren't going to collapse. The shoulder blades are going to stay nice and wide. Couple more here. And then as you go back into your child's pose this time, just stay there. And then from there, we're going to find our lunge position. So we're going to come up to kneeling. We're going to step one leg forwards and then take a moment to level out your pelvis so that you've not got one hip hitched up higher than the other. Find that slight tuck of your tailbone to bring your pelvis into a neutral position, and let's just gently shift our pelvis forwards and backwards a few times. So it's really opening out this back hip again. Check in with your ribs, make sure that your ribs are over your pelvis, so as you go forwards you're not kind of going into that real arched position. And this time we're going to stay forwards, and whichever leg is forwards, we're going to do circles with that same arm. So let's reach that same side arm forwards. Take it up to the sky, back behind you, and sweep forwards. Let's do 5 big circles in each direction. Remembering to reverse and go the other way, really making that circle as big as you can, stretching your arm. And when you've done your 5 in each direction, you're just going to switch and find that lunge on the other side. So if you're not quite there yet, don't worry, don't take your time. You know what we're doing, we're going to level out our pelvis once we're there. We're going to find that slight tuck of the tailbone, and again we're going to shift
our pelvis, just slightly forwards and backwards. Making sure that the ribs stay over the pelvis, and again, we're not tempted to go into that real arch of the back. And again, whichever leg is forwards, we're going to use that same side arm, so we're shifting the pelvis forwards to hold. And we're going to do those great big circles, again here, reaching and stretching. Good. When you've done your 5 one-way reverse, go the other way. When you've done all of your circles in each direction, we're going to come out of that lunge. We're going to find our child's pose again, so taking your bottom back towards your heels and reaching those arms as far forwards as you can, holding here. Staying in that child's pose position, we're going to walk our hands to one side. So walk your hands to the side, to the side, to the side, and hold it there. And then walking your hands in through centre and over to the other side. Again, walking them over as far as you can and holding there, taking those deep breaths. And then when you're ready, walking your hands back in through centre. And then slowly coming up and out of that. So we're going to come to find a seated position now. So when you're ready, come on up and just find a comfortable position. We're going to do some shoulder stuff. So feel free to grab something to sit on if you want to. And remember, you can change up your legs anytime that you feel that you need to. Let's just start with some little shoulder rolls here. So let's just get some real nice movement here. And roll the other way. Good job. Alright, and then we're going to reach one arm out in front. Imagine that you're holding your cup of water and we're going to tip that water out. So our arm is in that external rotation and we're just going to take it out to the side. Still got that water tipping out, we're still in that external rotation and we're going to move the elbow as far away from our shoulder as we can. So reach with your elbow and let's tilt our head in the opposite direction. Hold here for a few breaths. And then bringing your head in through centre and then just gently releasing that arm down. Let's do the other side. So reach your arm forward first, tip out your cup of water and take your arm out to the side. Keeping that external rotation again, reach with your elbow, so reaching that elbow away. And let's tilt our head to the other side, away from our reaching arm. So see how your neck feels here, whether it feels tighter on one side compared to the other. Again, let's take those deep breaths. And then head comes up and just gently releasing that arm down. Let's do both arms together this time, so arms out in front. Find that external rotation and arms out to the side. Reaching with your elbows and then dropping your chin towards your chest now. Using gravity and the weight of your head to traction and lengthen the back of your neck. Hold here. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your head up and release those arms down. Give your shoulders a little circle again. Go the other way. We're going to take our arms out to the side, palms facing up, and then roll them the other way. Can you get your palms to face up if you roll your arms forward? Let's roll our arms as far back as we can and roll them as far forwards as we can. So as you're rolling your arms forwards and backwards, notice if your shoulders are coming up. See if you keep the shoulders down. So you're just rolling the arms. Yeah, and those shoulder blades can stay nice and still on your back. Can you do one going one way and one going the other way? Can you keep those shoulders down? Good. Right, let's find that stop position. Let's have one arm up and one arm down. And can you do switch in there? Again, shoulders stay down. Good. One more time. And then let that go, little shoulder rolls again. Just maybe move your head around a little bit. Let's find our reverse prayer hands now. So backs of the hands are going to come together. Let your fingers just slightly interlace and then get your thumbs to touch. Now sometimes even just getting your thumbs to touch is hard work. And then can you pull your thumbs away from the rest of your fingers? Try and keep the backs of your hands together as you lower those hands down. Can you get them about level with your elbows whilst the backs of the hands are still touching? And then are your fingers digging into your chest? Can you kind of turn those fingers so the fingers are not touching your chest and they're pointing up towards the sky? And then drop your shoulders. It's a bit like that, rubbing your head and patting your tummy at the same time, isn't it? Can you take those prayer hands one side and then the other? Just gently go from one side to the other. And then release. A little wriggle of your fingers, a little twirl of your wrists. We're going to take the hands behind us now. So can you take your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers and then pull your shoulder blades as close together as you can. Now we don't really have a lot of feel in there, so it can be quite difficult to tell. But can you see if you can get the bottom of your shoulder blades together and the middle of your shoulder blades and the top of your shoulder blades? Can you get everything touching? Maybe. And then can you lift your hands away from your bottom? So they're still interlaced, still interlaced, but they're lifted. Shoulder blades are squeezing. And then lower the hands and release the shoulder blades. Just give them a little wriggle. We're going to do that again. Can you squeeze your shoulder blades together? Can you get the bottom of the shoulder blades, the middle of the shoulder blades and the top? And you might have no idea, but squeeze them together, see what you can find. And then can you lift your hands? And hold there for a couple of breaths. And then release your hands. Release your shoulder blades. Just let them come away. Give them a good circle. Turn your head side to side. You guys are all done.